Oh my goodness, we've already started. Welcome to Ask Dr. Drone. We're so glad that you came today. Yes, we are. We are so glad that you came today. I gotta tell the folks, I'll be there in a minute. I'll be there in a minute. I gotta make sure that you know something though. Today is a live call-in interactive show. And Dr. Drone's going to give you a chance to call in and ask a question or give your opinion. So here's what I want you to do. Take a look at this number at the bottom of the screen. It's right here. You take a look at that telephone number, and I want to make sure that you write it down now and give us a call. Get off of that couch. Make sure that you're not one of the lazy ones that's yelling at the TV screen. I can't hear you. I cannot hear you. Trust me on that. We're going to make sure that you are here to join us today. My name is Mark Stevenson, a.k.a. Dr. Drone, and today's show is underwritten by RBS Drone Technologies. Everybody wants a drone, that's for sure. I know I do. But you know what? I have something else I wanted to show you today. And I wanted to make sure that you also, and I know that you already grabbed your ink pen. A lot of you just don't have the guts to call in, but you are always writing me letters. You're always writing me these emails and asking questions, and so I want to try and answer one of the more important ones right now. All of them are important, but we want to make sure you know about that. And don't forget, scholarships. We have 3 scholarships that will be awarded. Make sure that you call us. And how do you get in touch with us about this? You can easily go to askdrdrone@gmail.com. That's askdrdrone@gmail.com. Or you can call us at 312-437-2230. That's 312-437-2230. You know, when I was a kid, I made sure that I did something with paper all the time. They call it origami now. I guess they've always called it. But it was actually just real simple, making airplanes. Then, and that was out of paper. Then we took a step to wood airplanes. And man, when I was a kid, they used to take these airplanes of all sizes, and we bought them at the store. Now, what the heck does that have to do with drones? That was the question this week. How is an airplane related to drones? I mean, both of them fly, but are they really related? Both of them have propellers. I don't know. Let's take a look at something real quick. If I take a look at these 4 simple pieces of wood, I know that the fuselage, I think they call it the fuselage, but today we're going to find out because we got an expert coming in to tell us. And I can put my wing in here real easy like that, and I can put my little tail on there like that there, and then I can put this other little thing here on there. And man, oh man, Dr. Drone has a airplane. That's right. And what can I do with this? I can fly it anywhere I want to. But there's something special about these things. Something special that keeps them up in the air. And today, on today's show, we're going to find out how is it that a big old heavy airplane can stay in the air without falling down. That's for sure. Now, if you didn't get the telephone number and the email address of how you can reach Dr. Drone, I want to make sure that you have a second chance on doing it. So grab your pen and write this down here right now. Ask Dr. Drone. Ask Dr. Drone here. And you can ask drdrone@gmail.com, or you can just call. I take pride in never having my phone emails unanswered. I always make sure that I have plenty of room, and I make sure that I respect you, and I make sure that I answer all of your email. But today, ladies and gentlemen, a very, very special guest, Chief Master Sergeant Charles Richardson. Welcome to today's show, Charlie.
Thank you, Mark. Glad to be here.
I'm so glad to say we're friends, man. We're friends we go back a little bit.
A couple of years.
That's right. And I tell you, you've always been interesting to me because the times I've seen you in your uniform with all of this fruit salad on there, man, you must have been through a lot of stuff. You were in the Air Force for a couple of years, huh?
Just a few.
How many years?
Just 33 years.
33 years.
33 years.
And then you went with the Department of Defense?
Department of Defense. Actually, I did both jobs simultaneously. I was in the Air National Guard for 18 of those years. And then after that, I worked simultaneously with the Department of Defense.
Well, there's a rumor about Chief Master Sergeant Charlie Richardson, and that's that he is, once again, reinventing himself. I mean, again, this man, a third career. Oh my goodness! Most of us, we're still working on our first career. He's working on his third. Charlie Richardson is president and CEO of Quality and H&R Consultants Incorporated. He started his business in 2008 after retiring from the Department of Defense as an aerospace supplier and quality engineer. His extensive aviation knowledge of over 33 years in the Air Force and 47 years in industrial manufacturing. That makes you 85 years old. Damn, man, you look great.
In dog years.
What are you talking about? That makes you look absolutely great.
Well, thank you, Mark. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Of course, you overlapped some of these things.
Yeah.
But you're also certified in quality engineering, mechanical electronics, aerospace systems, and receiving highly specialized training in NASA space shuttle equipment, aircraft, landing gears, military weapons systems, and responsible for the quality of purchasing major components of military aircraft. This man has so many names, and so many letters behind his name. Oh my goodness, and he's a BMF besides.
It's all about training.
It's all about training. Well, we are so proud to have you. You know, I was telling our friends out there about this wonderful thing here, but you know, I've never been a real pilot of a manned aircraft. I am a pilot of UASs, which are unmanned aircraft systems. And so you're going to tell us all about this thing and how it works and what are these parts to it. But first, we have a caller. Welcome to today's show. Welcome, caller.
Hello, Dr. Drone.
Hello, how are you doing, my friend?
Oh, I'm just fine. I am really happy that you have a military person on the show with you. My question is, since the military has been using drones for probably 30 years without the line of sight, does that not prove that civilian drone operations can be done safely without the line of sight rule?
What a high-quality question for you. Mm-hmm. Chief Master, you know, the 107 rules that came out that our caller is alluding to, mm-hmm. They came out just on August the 29th of last year, mm-hmm. and they told us we can fly drones commercially, but we have to maintain a line of sight. Is that what you're talking about, caller?
Absolutely, sir.
Okay, now we have to maintain a line of sight. But our caller is asking you that if you guys, especially the work that you've been doing in aerospace technology, if you guys been doing this for 30 years or more, why is it so critical that they're telling us we have to maintain a line of sight?
Well, the missions are different with the military. For example, one of the reasons that they use the drone in the military operations are mainly to go behind enemy lines and without loss of life be able to see what the enemy is doing and return to base. And that gives you more flexibility. As a matter of fact, now the Department of Defense with the Army and the Air Force, they're able to fly these drones from remote locations as far away as the United States in Afghanistan.
You mean they can fly a drone that far away? What do you think about that one, caller?
Well, yes, I'm familiar with the remote operations, and but the question still remains: since the military is operating drones without the line of sight rule safely every day,
Well,
why can't civilian drone operations be operated without the line of sight rule?
Why can't,
as
why
I,
can't
as, I
we do
said,
it?
as I said before, the military operation is totally different from civilian. There's a loss of life, and that's the difference between civilian, where it's a controlled environment, and when you have gunfire, when you have the enemy that's retreating, attacking, you need some type of recognition as to where they are and where their location is for strategic reasons. And so that's far different from a civilian operation where you're doing it for commercial to make money. This is due to life and limb. And another point is that 3/4 of the use of drones nowadays are for military operations. So this is just something new to the commercial, and once this line of sight rule, meaning you have to see the drone in order to operate it, once that changes, then you're going to see a lot more of drones uncontrolled and untrained. Hopefully they will be, but a lot of untrained people out there using it, whereas the drone operators in the military are professionals. They've been trained by the military, which is one of the best training forces in the world, especially the Air Force. And you'll see a lot of these drones being damaged, being uncontrolled in the United States or in civilian operations.
Wow, that's very interesting. I'd like to say that we as civilian professionals, we're trained too, but probably not as much as the military for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And our missions are usually doing photography rather than deploying weapons. Thank you so much. I think we have another caller on the line. Do we have another caller on the line right now?
Yes, you do.
Welcome. Welcome to today's show. Welcome to Ask Dr. Drone. My guest today is Chief Master Sergeant Charlie Richardson. Go ahead, caller.
Yes, my question is that if I get a drone, before I buy it, is it important to know the laws of the rules so I can understand before I buy the drone? I don't want to go out there and violate some type of law and not understand what I'm doing. Can you give me some information on that?
Well,
Yes.
Go ahead.
FAA Regulation 107, which is a Federal Aviation Administration regulation, states that you need to be aware of it in order to become a pilot. In order to become a pilot and for commercial use, you definitely need to have it. But for civilian use, just for kids playing with the toy, within a certain range, you just have to be careful.
I mean, a toy like that?
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. And thank you for your call. I have to also add to that you better be insured too. A lot of people think that if you have an accident and you crash into somebody or hit someone's property, that your homeowner's insurance is going to pay for it. Wrong. You better have proper insurance, drone insurance, in order to fly, and you have so many restricted areas that almost all of Chicago, you have to be very careful and get a certificate of authorization. We call them COAs. You have to get a COA in order to fly in the city of Chicago. But there are places that you can fly safely. There's plenty of open fields and so forth, but check first to make sure that you're doing it, and you better follow the law. Our caller was very, very astute at asking about that, because a lot of people just figure they can go to the store, buy a drone, and go and fly it. And speaking of flying, I was telling some of the friends that I have, and I don't have a lot of them. Dr. Drone has. I really only have one friend out of all the people I know. And that one there is the one that punishes me on a regular basis. But besides that, what is this, and what are these different parts?
Okay. This is your aircraft. Let me take it apart and put it back together.
Well, let's put it
do that?
right on the screen up close, and let's see what you're talking about.
Okay. Can you see it? Okay. This right here is the fuselage. Okay, this is the body of the plane. This is where the passengers sit. The fuel is in here if it's
Fuselage.
the fuselage. This is the main body of the aircraft. And it's heavy, or it can be light depending on the cargo or depending on its mission. If it's a fighter aircraft, if it's a bomber aircraft, this is the fuselage.
Is that where the gas is kept to?
The gas for air refuelers, which are the ones that I worked on, the KC-135s, these refuel other airplanes in midair when they fly.
I see.
And that we've flown all over the world on this mission, flying payloads and refueling other aircraft to get over to Europe and other places.
I see. Okay.
This next part right here is the wing.
The wing.
The wing. What this does is creates lift for the aircraft. In order for an aircraft to fly, you need lift. Lift is when you have the air blowing on it. Otherwise, it would just be on the ground. So in order to gain lift, you need something to overcome gravity, which the engines are what that does, either propellers or jets on each side of the aircraft.
But Chief Master, if I had a piece of paper that was flat like that wing, would that cause lift just by air blowing on it?
No, actually what happens is that when you have the surface, it has to cup itself like a regular cup, like a piece of paper. If you can see this, cupped like this. If you drop it, it controls the air and lets the air flow underneath it, which gives it lift.
So one side of the wing is flat and the other side is curved.
That's correct. And that creates an effect where you get more lift with the flat side and the curved side. The air is forced to fly underneath it.
There must be more air pressure on the bottom or something that pushes.
That's correct.
And that,
It pushes
keeps,
it up.
Keeps the plane from falling.
From falling.
Well, how do I turn though?
Well, to turn it, you have two small devices on here, your ailerons, your flaps on each side of this. So the flaps, what they do, there's two flaps underneath it, which gives you that curve shape. And when you have power pushing forward and overcoming gravity, you get lift. And that's what makes it fly.
Very good.
Okay. The next portion of the aircraft is the tail. I'm sorry, is the elevator.
That's what I call it, the tail. That's
No.
right. Looks like a tail to me.
Yeah, it is a tail. But what this does, this creates the effect of, this is the elevator. What this does, it creates the effect to give you up and down motion. So you have a plane that's flying this way. Now you need a way to keep it going up and down. So the tail of the plane, the elevator of the plane, goes down like this and gives you lift to control it to go the plane to go up or to go down in this direction. Okay?
Up and down, and the flaps.
Flaps. That also to stop the plane, the flaps come down to decrease and cup it again.
There's a lot of physics in this.
Yes,
Oh my
yes,
goodness.
and that's why students that are interested in it, they have to be astute in the STEM program in your high school or in your college, because the STEM program, science, technology, engineering, and math, are very important in aviation.
That's what STEM stands for.
That's what it stands for, Dr. Drone.
Science.
Technology.
Green beans and chicken and
No,
what? No, STEM is
engineering and math.
Oh, okay. Very
Okay,
good.
that's what students need nowadays to get a good job in.
I keep hearing that
And
word,
it's-
STEM. Okay,
Yeah.
what's this next part that you're
This
putting
next
on?
part is the rudder. And what this does, you have a plane that's, now you've got lift, and now you got control of the airplane going up and down. Now you need a way to keep it from going left or right, yaw and pitch. So you have to have a way to have this plane to control it going left and right.
Wow, that must be a
So it
lot
goes
of
this way
pedals
and that way.
pedals in a plane to keep it working.
Yeah.
You know, after
There's two pedals that control the yaw, the pitch. There's actually 4 different ones. There's the yaw and the pitch, left and right. There's one that take it left and right and up and down and control the way it goes.
Wow.
Just like that.
Just like that. Boy, that's too cool.
Okay.
That's too cool.
So that's the basics. So you have the forces. You have to have an engine on it, of course, to create that. Either your arm or some other type of propulsion to push it forward, either reciprocating engine or with a jet engine.
Now, if I would have known this, if I would have known this stuff back in grammar school, I wouldn't have gotten suspended because I would have been able to tell my teachers. I'd have been able to tell my teachers the physics of all of this. Do you mind if I take your blood pressure while we're doing this show?
What is that for?
Well, I just want to make sure your blood pressure is okay, and I want to make
Should I be nervous?
No, not unless you're lying. You see,
Lying? This is not.
well, I have to make sure sure that your blood pressure is good because I am.
Now it's going up.
Well, Dr. Drone does more than just fixing drones. Dr. Drone want to make sure that you're doing okay too, because I understand that you are a miracle that you're with us. Why is that?
Well, in 2003, I retired from the Air Force, and my kidney function, because I was in Vietnam and Agent Orange, my kidney function went from 100% to 17% in 6 months.
Wow.
And I lost both of my kidneys due to Agent Orange in Vietnam.
My goodness.
And so a young man that I mentored in the Air Force, he donated his kidney to me.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
And that
it looks like it's working too. your blood pressure is just fine.
every day is a miracle, and only God can do something like
Oh my
this. So
God.
I'm giving back as much as I can to
I
everyone
understand
I
that
can.
you have something to do with a fine group of men and women that help young people to get into aerospace technology, something called the Tuskegee Airmen.
Yes, sir.
Tell us about them, please.
Yeah, the Tuskegee Airmen are a group of men in our Chicago chapter, Dodo chapter. What we do is we try to we give students who are interested in flying, interested in engineering and math and science, the STEM program. We try to assist them with a twofold process, and that's to give back to them scholarships. We give scholarships every year for students that are interested in a higher education. That's one of our missions with the Tuskegee Airmen. And the other mission that we have is to fly kids. We fly kids, as a matter of fact, this weekend at Gary Airport, we're flying kids up to 30, 40, as many can call in.
What, are you hanging them from the plane?
No,
or
we
you're
actually
picking them
have
up off the corners and letting them hang?
No, we have Cessna aircraft.
You're letting, wait a minute, you're
They
taking
actually-
kids for flight?
Free flights.
Oh, wait a minute,
to
how much
students.
does this cost? Come
It's
on.
absolutely free.
What?
Absolutely free for students that are interested in aviation. And we will need more students interested in aviation.
How old do you have to be?
You have to be 7 to 17 years old,
Oh my goodness.
and it's free at Gary Airport, Gary International Airport.
Wow, and how would I find out more about this?
Well, you can go to our website, which is www.taichicago.org, and you can actually call in the day before the flight to see if they're flying, if the weather's good. And this weekend looks like it's going to be a great weekend
I heard a
for
rumor.
flying.
I heard a rumor that the Tuskegee Airmen to date has taken up in excess of 16,000 young people for their
Yes.
first flight.
Yes.
And you got so many success stories that came out of that, of people who became airplane pilots,
Yes.
technicians, engineers,
Yes.
people that do the same kind of work that you do. Oh
That's
my
right.
goodness.
That's right. And so each one can teach one how to do this. And you know, you don't learn by yourself. And me, myself, I worked on the same aircraft, oddly enough, as we're flying this weekend, the Cessnas, which is a small propeller unit aircraft. So there's opportunities there for the drones. There's opportunities there for aircraft. So this is a new technology. So please be aware of the technology that's coming today.
Wow.
And call in to Dr. Drone.
That's interesting. Well, folks, we have had a great show, and we want to make sure that we want to thank Chief Master Sergeant Charlie Richardson for joining us. Thank you so much, Charlie.
welcome, Mark.
We appreciate you.
My pleasure.
Remember, folks, this show was underwritten by RBS Drone Technologies. Let me get this in here right. RBS Drone Technologies. And also, if you want to get in touch with Dr. Drone directly, here's how you do it. Write it down, write it down. Make sure that you ask through an email or through a phone call, and we'll make sure that we take care of answering your question. Until next week, folks, we just want to thank you again. We thank you so very much. Mama, I need you to get that coffee ready because the kid, he's on his way.
Thanks.